Hi everyone, and welcome to Growing Our Retirement. So Larry, you're not really suggesting that people don't save for retirement.
Well, I might be or I might not be. I might be suggesting that they stop saving for retirement.
Oh, stay tuned to find out. Let's take this step by step.
Okay.
Why do people save for retirement?
Well, they mostly save for retirement for some security.
Mm-hmm.
They may want to leave an inheritance of some sort if they're able. But their primary driver is really income.
Yeah.
So they'll get to the end of their working career and they've got enough of a nest egg that it's going to generate some return on investment, right? Some
Right.
percentage return. In addition to any kind of pension or social security they may have. And then they now have to wait quite a while, typically 67
Right.
in the United States, to take their social security without any penalties and get the full retirement amount.
Right. So can anybody really stop saving for retirement?
Right, so that's a great question. I mean, the conventional wisdom is you save up until retirement, you never stop. But there are people that can stop. Some people have saved enough. They can kind of look into the future, calculate what kind of returns they'll get.
Right.
They may hire a financial advisor who's going to help them figure that out and project that. There are some rules of thumb where maybe you take 4% per year. That was developed by a gentleman named Bangans, who said, you know, in a high probability scenario, in the high 90%, you won't run out of money over 30 years if you only draw 4% per year.
Sounds safe.
Yeah, some people say 8, some say more,
Right.
but 4 is very conservative and I think is doable. So if you've saved enough, yeah, you could certainly stop.
All right.
There's medical insurance issues as well. So if in the United States, if you're not 65, you'd need to provide your own medical insurance for a while.
Expensive, yeah.
Right. So what we're talking about, though, is the amount of money that you need to save, and assuming a 4% return, you actually need a tremendous amount of money. The average person in the United States has saved a couple $100,000 for retirement. That's the median. That's not skewed by the high end who have
Right.
$1 billion.
Right.
It's not an average because that would be skewed. It's a median.
Okay.
So that's most people.
Okay.
So 200,000 is pretty much the number. If you wanted a $40,000 a year income, you would need $1 million at 4% to generate $40,000 per year.
Right.
The amount of people that have saved $1 million in the United States towards retirement or in general at all is less than 10%. So that's not everybody. We really
Right.
can't talk to that.
Right.
We need to talk to where most people are.
Okay.
So, if you're nearing the end of your career and you've saved a couple $100,000, we have an example on the website of this, and I'm going to show you some little spreadsheets to sort of show you what it looks like.
I mean, honestly, you probably could pull that off if you had a 401k.
So that's going to generate for them only at 4%, 4 or 5%, $8,000 or $10,000 a year in income,
Okay.
in addition to what they may already have in pension. Not that many people have pensions anymore in the United States, so they have Social Security, but not until age 67.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to work till 67.
Right.
So if it's the income that we're after, what else can we do is really the question.
Right.
Okay, so it's not how big your nest egg, it's really what's your income going to look like, and then of course what are your expenses. Maybe you paid off your house, maybe you downsize, maybe you free up some saving by downsizing your house and
Right.
putting some money away. These are all different options. What I'd like to suggest, though, is that people develop a secondary income for kind of those sweet spot years between about age 60 and 70, right? You're working full tilt, you're going like crazy, you're probably at the peak of your career or your job position and highest skills you've ever had. Do you all of a sudden just stop?
Yeah. Right.
Or is there a middle place?
Right. Like
And
a
that's
side hustle, right?
That some kind of a side hustle.
So what types of things could you do to generate income, and how do you start?
Right, that's a great question. So I think at least by age 60, you should be more than thinking about retirement, maybe earlier. There's probably things that you like to do that to you are not like work
Right.
and that you would enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And these could be making quilts or teaching people how to make quilts. It could be starting a YouTube channel. We would certainly, not to overlook things like driving an Uber. Some people love to drive.
Yeah. It's good
Making
extra money.
$10,000 or $20,000 part-time with an Uber pretty easy. And we would like to suggest a plant nursery. So our plan and what we've been doing is we started our plant nursery long before we're going to retire.
Yes.
Because we, first of all, enjoy doing it, so we really wanted to get to doing it. Second of all, we wanted to get it established and proven before we needed the income.
Yes.
So that was important to us. And we've treated it like an investment in that we have diverted some retirement savings towards starting this nursery. And we've gone a little larger scale because of that, because we're not saving as much for retirement as we once were. And the retirement saving is a time thing too. You know, you could throw a lot of money at it, but it's better to have several decades of compounding and growth there that you just can't make up for in 5 years. It's very hard. So you could save, but so we would suggest that you could make a very reasonable income with a plant nursery. If you're looking at an average total savings of $200,000 and at 4 or 5%, you're really looking at $8,000 or $10,000 a year in addition to your other retirement income. That's not a lot of money to make in a plant nursery. Depends on your location and what kind of plants you grow. Our plans are for much more than that, and we consciously took some money from retirement savings that we would have put there and put it into our nursery. We think we're getting a better return. But even like upgrading your car and doing some Uber driving instead of saving more for retirement is another strategy to use some of that money to generate income, which is really the key thing.
So what happens when you generate some extra income instead of living off of your nest egg?
Right. So I said a moment ago about time in the market. So it's your time of having a nest egg, even a relatively small one, leaving it invested longer allows it to grow. And
that compounding.
Yes, and it could potentially even compound the longer you can leave it there undisturbed. So you're not adding to it, but the market and your investments are making it grow. So just if your income goal was $10,000 a year, you have $200,000, you're taking 5%. If you just leave that alone instead of hitting it, and let's just say you average 6% relatively conservatively in growth, there's a chart on the web page that belongs to this video that shows you what happens during that time. And the difference is, so you didn't take the income, your larger pot continued to grow, and at the end of like a 10-year period, you've got another almost $80,000 to $100,000 there. Which now you can take your 5% out of your it's a larger bucket. And it will provide more income for you when you're now in your 70s. The other thing that's different is, drawing $10,000 from $200,000 a year. I mean, that's quite possible. It's quite sustainable, but it's still only $10,000 a year. That might not be enough for somebody. And while you're still young enough to be doing something that's active, whatever that might be, you might generate $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year doing something that you really love, and you're leaving your nest egg to grow. So that's the idea. I mean, hitting the nest egg too early really hurts you. Leaving it in as long as possible really helps you. You also could make, a relatively modest income, but a better income than just your investments would provide by letting it go a little bit longer.
Got it. Hi everyone, if you're enjoying this content and you're enjoying watching us grow a nursery, please like and subscribe and tell your friends. It helps us in the long run and we'd really appreciate it.
So we'd also like to add to this video, we're not financial advisors. So please don't take any of this as, professional financial advice. This is something we're doing. And we just want to explain to you, some of the alternatives that you might think about. Talk to your trusted financial people. Talk to people that you know, and make your own decisions about what you do with your retirement years and savings. But it is important, and we'd like you to think about it. We've been thinking about it a long time, and I think we've made some good plans. And good plans will get you through a lot. So they may not go exactly the way you hope, but you'll be a lot closer by making some good plans.
That's it for today, everyone, and thank you for watching. Please go to our webpage and look at all the additional information and charts that Larry was talking about. There's a lot more information on our website. We love you, and we're so grateful you're watching. Have a great day.
Thanks, folks.